Hey drivers, just stop checking the petrol price every morning because the Strait of Hormuz is currently under cardio arrest. And while everyone in Southeast Asia is feeling the pulse, Singapore is the one in the emergency room. Today, we are going to look at why even a ceasefire tomorrow won't fix your bill and the high-stakes military gamble that is now the only way out. Look at the map of Southeast Asia. If you are in Malaysia or Brunei right now, you are annoyed but you aren't panicking. Why? Because they are net exporters. When global price hit about $120 per barrel, their national budgets actually get a boost. They have a cushion. Singapore, we have zero domestic production. We are price takers in the most brutal sense. We don't just import oil to move cars, we import 95% of our electricity in the form of natural gas. And here's the kicker. 20% of the world's LNG passes through the same choked-off Strait of Hormuz. When the vein is cut, Singapore doesn't just feel the fuel spike, we feel the survival squeeze. And then the slow squeeze can turn into a stranglehold. People think an oil crisis is about cars. It's not. It's about the total energy tax on life. Because Singapore is a hyper-connected hub, the chain reaction is brutal. At first, it will be the fuel spikes. Logistics cost for every truck delivering groceries to NTUC go up. And then will be the utility shock that your bill is getting very expensive since this month. So eventually, the reality that we have to face is that a $6 chicken rice is heading for $8. Not because the chicken is more expensive, but because the gas to cook it and the electricity to keep the store lit just doubled. So why has this lasted for so long? Modern war leaves scars. Even if the shooting stopped an hour ago, the strait is littered with sea mines and insurance companies has pulled war risk coverage. We have seen devastating drone strikes on regional energy infrastructure that will take months to repair. This is why the price floats down like a feather even when the news improves. The risk is still baked into the cost. But here is where the story changes. We just got word of massive diplomatic and military breakthrough. More than 20 countries, 22 to be exact, have officially stepped up to ensure safe passage through the Straits of Hormuz. This isn't just about the US or UK acting alone. This is a global coalition of the willing that include regional powers and major energy consumers. They have expressed a unified readiness to contribute the naval assets and the security efforts needed to break the blockage. This is the circuit breaker we have been waiting for. At first, it's these 22 nations move in, and then slowly there will be more countries to join in. As a result, the risk that has been driving your petrol price up starts to evaporate. It sends a clear message to the regime that the world will not let the global economy to be held as hostage. So, is the crisis over? Not yet, but for the first time in 2026, we are moving in the right direction. The UK has already permitted the use of the strategic basis for the mission, and Saudi Arabia has issued a stern warning that suggested the diplomatic gloves are off. Whether this ends with a negotiated compromise or a forced reopening of the shipping lanes, the momentum has shifted. The siege is being met with a shield. Singapore is prepared to bridge the gap. We have the reserves, we have the foretaps, and we have the diplomatic weight to be at the front of the line when those first protected tankers start moving. Minister Tan Sin Leng has warned a bumpier ride, but with this 22-nation coalition forming, the ride just got a little bit shorter. The lights are staying on, and soon the prices will start to follow the path of the new, safer reality. The 2026 oil crisis was a test of our character. We felt it more because we are the most connected city on earth. But that connection is also why the world is fighting to reopen the gates. The harder time aren't gone, but the solution is finally on the horizon.